Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Click the bell button and enjoy the latest uploads from our channel.
Hello everyone, we'll see how to use Raspberry Pi headless. So we need a power supply for Raspberry Pi. So power cable I am connecting to the Raspberry Pi. And Ethernet cable is connected because there is no inbuilt Wi-Fi modem in the Raspberry Pi in what I am using. I'm clicking on network sharing. There you will find the undefined network, that is the Raspberry Pi cable. So I have to assign one IP address for that. So I'll share the internet of my computer to the Raspberry Pi using the Wi-Fi property of by sharing. So it will assign IP address that is default 192.168.137.1. If you want to change, you can change it. Okay. Now we this is the routing IP. So the IP address is used by the Raspberry Pi is different. So we'll see that. Uh, anyway, we know the hosting name of Raspberry Pi. So directly I'll use SSH Pi at Raspberry Pi. Now Raspberry Pi is host name and Pi is the login ID. So it will ask for password. So I'll log in, type the password. Now it is inside the Raspberry Pi, inside the Raspberry Pi command prompt. By typing if if config, I can now find what is the IP address is used by the Raspberry Pi. It is 192.168.137.174. Okay. Now by using VNC, we can access the Raspberry Pi remotely. So I'll open VNC file, new connection, VNC server, that is IP address 192.168.137.174. I have to type that, and the name is for it is like a friendly identifier. So I'll use it like, I'll type new. Only these changes is enough. So directly going to connect. Now I have typed only the host name, so I have to type the username and password. The username and password is proper, then it will connect to this Raspberry Pi and it will show the Raspberry Pi desktop window. This is the one way. Now in this case I have to first find out what is the IP address. Instead of that, I know what is the host name. So if when I know host name, I can directly type the host name in the VNC server. Okay, so host name is Raspberry Pi. So I have to type that Raspberry Pi host name in the uh, VNC server. I'll give it as new to the friendly identifier. Okay. Okay, connect. Again I have to type username and password. Okay, password is not correct. I'll try once again. Okay, so now it is connected. Uh, the advantage of this type of directly typing a host name, we can use, if you are logged into uh, VNC software, we can use it anywhere from other IP address location also. From remote place also you can connect it. Now this is possible because when it is booting, I have enabled SSH and VNC, and system host name is Raspberry Pi, and auto login user is a Pi. So everything is directly without going into the Raspberry Pi, I know what is the host name and what is the username. Okay, so thank you for watching.